Are you ready to learn how to find your niche as a virtual assistant using ChatGPT? If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I run a virtual assistant agency called 2XU here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, in my quest to teach you guys how to use ChatGPT as a superpower, I am kind of going back through old videos that I've done already before of the basics of being a virtual assistant. So in the other video, I just talked about how to create your portfolio and resume with ChatGPT. And now we're going to go through your niche. So if you guys want to find other videos of mine where I talked about this and how to use ChatGPT when it comes to your job searching and your current job, feel free to go through the videos that I've had in the last couple months because I really want you guys to use ChatGPT as your superpower. So for today, we're gonna go through basically the process of how to find your niche as a virtual assistant. Now, if you're someone who's just starting out as a virtual assistant, one of the things you wonder is, who am I working for? Who is, the thing that I'm going to do this service that I've picked? So hopefully at this point, you would have already figured out the skill that you want to do as a virtual assistant. You figure out, like, hey, I want to be a social media assistant. I want to be an admin virtual assistant. I want to be a general virtual assistant. Depending on that, I have a whole ton of videos here on my channel about trying to pick what kind of virtual assistant you want to be. But the next step is always then figuring out what niche, or again, who do you work for? Who do you serve? What are the kind of clients that you want to work with? So that's what we're going to dive on into this video. So I'm going to share with you guys like how to pick your niche and how to use ChatGPT as your superpower in doing so. Now, if you've seen other videos of mine where I've talked about ChatGPT, you guys always know that I start with the WOAH method. So if you've never seen ChatGPT before, this is generally what it looks like. And whenever you start a new thread or a blank, basically like this. So basically this is what it looks like when you filled it out, when you've gone through asking ChatGPT questions. But if you're starting a new chat, I call it a thread, you want to start with the WOAH method. So what the WOAH method is you start with the W, which is the who. Who are you? Who is this for? Who's your target audience? If you don't already know, this is what this video is going to be about. But it's describing who you are. The O in WOAH is the outcome. What is the outcome that you need ChatGPT or from ChatGPT to create? So the A is just a question of, are you ready? This gives you the feedback that ChatGPT understands what it is that you are asking it to do. And then the H is basically the how. How do you want ChatGPT to help you get to this outcome? So basically, I'll just copy and paste a prompt that I already have. And if you guys want access to this, by the way, I'm already starting to collect all of the prompts that I've had putting into all of these videos that I've been doing, so then you guys probably grab it in the description below. So here I put in, I'm starting out as a new virtual assistant specializing in project management. Again, if you guys don't have it figured out what kind of virtual assistant you want to be, I probably will create a future video for that. But I've also done videos on it anyway. So then I would need your expertise to picking out my niche. Are you ready? I would need you to be like a virtual assistant career coach for clarity. So I put in the who I am, the outcome that I'm needing. So the expertise to pick out the niche, the are you ready? And then the how is for it to act like a virtual assistant coach. Okay, so hitting enter on that, and then just like magic, of course, usually it'd say, yep, I've got you, I understand what it is that you need, and it'll give you more questions basically that you can discuss with it back and forth, so you can answer these. However, we'll skip a little bit of this since it already kind of understands, but it also becomes then a good guide for us for the next couple of prompts that we'll be putting into ChatGPT. So again, that's just the beginning. ChatGPT is already giving you like ideas, and honestly, this is already like my script right here without even checking ChatGPT. But that is where we'll begin, is just by introducing yourself to ChatGPT. Now, when you're trying to figure out your niche, you need to figure out what niches are available to you. So one of the first things we'll ask ChatGPT is creating a niche list for you. So here, if you guys remember from the intro that we just did on ChatGPT, it's already asking like, what areas of expertise, what are your passions and interests, who is your ideal client, what is your unique selling point, and then what are your long-term goals. So let's go, again, this is kind of where we're gonna go anyway. So on creating the niche list, I'm gonna copy and paste again of what are some popular niches in the virtual assistant industry who would need project managers. So that's the first thing, is we need to know what is even available, like who is even looking for a project manager VA. Again, this could be you as a social media VA or just a virtual assistant as well, but you want to try to just know, again, ChatGPT can give you that list, and it's giving it to us now, who is interested in working with you, who is looking for your service as a virtual assistant, and who would be the how then would you then later on talk about your positioning yourself so then you are seen as the expert. So right here we can look at small business owners, because and so they always have a lot on their plate. Digital marketers, because they always have a wide range of projects. E-commerce businesses, because they work with a lot of complex logistics. Event planners and nonprofit organizations. So beyond, based on this list, you already have a good feeling like, oh, maybe I want to go this, I want to do that. So the next thing that we'll ask ChatGPT to do, or that you will do when it comes to figuring out your niche as a virtual assistant, is narrowing down your market. Because if you say that I'm going to serve all of these clients, you're not really serving anyone. So it's always better that you specialize and you narrow down who it is that you do want to be serving or working with. So the next thing is on narrowing down your market. I'll just, again, copy and paste this. So if you remember earlier, one of the things that ChatGPT asked us is, what are your current passions or interests? So basically, when it comes to narrow down your market, you want to choose a market that's already a little bit relevant to you, that you're a little bit aware of already. That's why you want to base it a little bit on your interests. The reason for this is you know more than someone who's just casually going into this niche or industry. So for example, here I put, which niches matches my skills and interests? I enjoy reading fiction books or traveling in my spare time, and have been studying content creation coaches. So just by asking that question, based on the list that it already gave you above, it's already starting to look for the niche or the industry basically that you can go into as a project manager virtual assistant. So right there, it's already giving you book marketing would be one place, the travel industry, content creation coaching. So again, because I did write the three things I'm interested in at the moment, naturally it will suggest those things. The next thing you want to ask ChatGPT is then we'll go ahead and just ask it for what are the pros and cons of each niche, just so you kind of aware. You're kind of still trying to get to know and narrow down which niche you want to go into, just as you're kind of getting to know each one. So it'll write up that pros and cons for you. So right there, on book marketing, you have the opportunity to work with authors and publishers in a creative industry. The cons may require specialized knowledge of the book industry and marketing strategies. If you're going to go with travel industry, these are the pros and cons. Content creation coaching, these are basically the pros and cons as well. So then the next thing that you want to do when it comes to finding your niche as a virtual assistant is doing market research. So this is the process basically of now you've kind of, okay, maybe I want to lean into this one space just because it makes sense for me, and I want to research as much as I can for that market. So part of doing market research is figuring out who is already in this niche, who's already another project management virtual assistant in this space. Are they doing well? Do they actually already exist? This is kind of one of the kind of safer ways for you to double check that there's going to be someone who wants to hire you in your skill and in your niche, because you're seeing or seeking basically your competitors in the space. So let me copy and paste this prompt already. So I would like to choose the content creation coach's niche. Who are the competitors in my chosen niche, and what services are they offering? So again, this is just you exploring and seeing and getting to know if there's people who are willing to pay for your services, because you definitely don't want to dive into a rabbit hole of choosing your skill and you kind of want to go into this very specific niche only to find out that there's not really anyone who could be a competitor for you because no one is buying, no one is looking for your skills for this niche. So right here, it's already given me a list of other agencies who are doing the same thing. So we have Content Refined, they have a range of content creating services. Contentfly is content creation platform, Express Writers. So it'll give you again, and you will then be able to look this up into the internet of who these people are. So you can then have a good way to know what are pricing, what are they offering, how are they offering, how they're targeting their audiences. So then it's easy for you again to be able to get to the point where you're positioning yourself as the expert project management for content creation coaches. So that's kind of the niche that we kind of went through. So that's one way that you can do market research. Other ways you can do market research for figuring out your niche as a virtual assistant is looking up, let's say you have a mentor or someone you look up to in this space, let's say on the content creation coaches space, look if they have a project manager virtual assistant. Look if they have the skill or the position that you're trying to apply for. Maybe they're already hiring, because again, that's just further proof for you that, okay, there is a market for my skill in the niche that I'm choosing. Now, the next step, and this is my favorite step to be very honest, because I came up with this about 4 years ago now, and I'm calling it niche hacking. So when it comes to niche hacking, you are basically reversing what it is that the person in the chosen industry does and how they need your services. So without going into ChatGPT just yet, so imagine the content creation coaches industry that you've chosen, because you've already shown interest in this, and this is why it's very important that you already have some interest in the niche or industry you're trying to apply for, is then you know what goes behind the scenes. So before a content creation coach comes up and basically creates their content, sells to their market, there's a few steps that they've already done. So for example, let's say you've niched down even further and you're talking to someone who does YouTube content for coaching people on YouTube content. So of course for them every single week they have to create YouTube content. So there's going to be the step-by-step things that they would need to do before they even show up. So there's the script writing, there's before even that there's researching the topic, script writing, there is blocking it and putting it into a script that can be used. There's also then of course the filming of it, and then the editing, putting it up into social media, repurposing it, and so on and so forth. Before then, even hopping on calls with coaching clients and being able to give them and deliver the product or service that they are giving. So that's the process basically that your target audience is going to go through. And the reason again why it's really important to pick a niche that you already like. Now, putting niche hacking into ChatGPT. So again, I'm going to copy the prompt that we have already. So based on my chosen niche and skill, what would be the most essential tasks and outcomes I can focus on? So this is a more specific question that you can ask ChatGPT of, hey, I said that I wanted to be in the content creation coaches niche, and the skill that I've chosen is project management. So what tasks, essential tasks and outcomes can I focus on? Can I work on for them? So right off the bat, it's again giving us all of the good things and skipping a lot of what would usually take people like hours and days researching and figuring out. So you have content planning and strategy, which of course when you're a project manager virtual assistant is going to be the common thing you'll go into. There's of course just content creation, there's also content optimization. So here, and I wanted to catch this as well, is here is a content creation coach who may be responsible for creating content yourself. So here is a little mistake that ChatGPT made, and I didn't want to edit it out of this video because we didn't specify enough. Some of this, like it says, as a project management virtual assistant, so it went back to who we are, but it did lose a little bit of itself. So here, what we can do is we can make it remember basically what it was that we chose. So then again, it can be more specific based on who you are, because again, ChatGPT is not perfect. It's going to make mistakes. That's why I didn't want to just edit this out of the video. So then you can just rewrite, and then it again will go into more specifically what it is that you can do. So that's kind of what niche hacking is you're figuring out where am I placing myself in their process? What am I going to be focusing on to help them on the essential parts of their business, so then I become somewhat essential in their business. So that is basically, these are the tasks that you can do as a project manager virtual assistant in the content creation coaching niche. It's a lot of words, but I did want to be specific for you guys. Next is then developing your skills. Now that you've chosen your niche, you've chosen your skill, so then you want to make sure or ask ChatGPT as your career coach, pasting it here, based on the tasks and outcomes, how can I further develop my skills for my client? So then it'll give you an actual step-by-step study guide of things that you can go through and learn, so you don't have to figure it out all by yourself. But right off the bat, stay up to date with industry trends, develop your writing skills, so because you're probably going to create a lot of content with your chosen niche, hone in your project management skills, so on and so forth. If you want to be further specific, you can ask it like, hey, can you create a study plan for me? Who should I study? So on and so forth. That's always the next step when it comes to figuring out your niche, is you want to then start developing your skill further, specifically for the niche and industry that you've chosen. And the next thing, and this is usually where people skip when it comes to figuring out their niche, is going ahead and creating systems or figuring out what systems they can build for their client. So basically, I'll copy and paste this here. So what are the best systems I can set up for my chosen niche? So here is, it's basically developing your service already. kind of in a subtle other way, but you're already seeing, okay, I want to be in the content management system. That's my focus as a project manager. That's not something you can do. It could just be the project management system of managing the clients and the projects that you're working on with them inside of your client's business. Could be the time tracking system that you might have, social media management system. So here again, you're already being given the actual services that you can then start providing to your niche and chosen industry. So it's just a pretty cool way, again, to be given ideas of like, hey, oh yeah, I can work on this field, I can do this, I can do that. So it's just a good way to do and figure out basically more clarity of what it is that you can offer. Now, final step when it comes to figuring out your niche as a virtual assistant is positioning yourself. Naturally, what this means is that you want to make sure that people see you as this project management assistant for the content creation coach's niche. So we're going to ask ChatGPT how to do that exactly. So it's basically asking the question of how can I position myself as the expert or someone to hire as a project manager virtual assistant for content creation coaches. A mouthful, but here we go. So develop a strong personal brand. Establish yourself as the expert, create valuable content, leverage client testimonials, offer specialized services, attend industry events so you show up in the events as well, build relationships with influencers, so on and so forth. So it'll keep giving you the list and you can keep asking ChatGPT for more. But that is essentially the step-by-step process of how you can pick your niche as a virtual assistant. Again, you're going to start with creating the list of niches that you can go into, being more specific, asking it, giving it your own preferences, like, hey, this is what I like. Then doing a little bit more of market research, like, are they actually willing to pay for this service in this niche? Fourth one, is just my favorite again, is niche hacking, which is actually figuring out what you can do for them. The fifth one is developing your skill. And sixth one is basically creating the systems or developing what service basically you're going to give to your target audience or to your niche basically, and then positioning yourself. Because when you position yourself, that is when people will start seeing you and seeking you out. You don't have to always be the one targeting them because they already see you as the expert in this industry. Now, I know that was a lot, so make sure that if you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what other ways or things do you guys want me to run through ChatGPT so you can learn how to do it yourself. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home, which you guys can check out those two playlists right here and the latest video right here. Now, have you guys have an amazing day and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!